Slammiversary. I think they were live in Canada in Windsor, Ontario, to be exact. And I'm not gonna lie, they put on a show. They did their thing. I wanted to kind of get your impressions as far as what you were gathering from Slammiversary.
We said it before we went on air. I'll say it again because I am pro TNA. I have been since 2003. I want to say that. Yeah. When I saw the NWA title when I was a jit and I
Mm-hmm.
saw it on there, I said, all right, when Jeff Jarrett was, beginning his terrorism of, that promotion, which I mean, he built with Dixie Carter. So yeah, I can't really say too much. Uh, so before we came on air, I told Mr. Nahisi that this is the best pay-per-view since 2020 from them. Ironically, that was Slammiversary with Chris Bay and Willie Mack.
Yeah.
They came out the gate with Ultimate X. If y'all know about Ultimate X, you need to start watching wrestling. Again, y'all watch more TNA. That might be the hashtag on here. Watch more TNA wrestling. Uh, so they came out the gate with that. The tag match, the TNA knockouts. I said before we came on air as well that they might have the best women's division, if not second best to
Yes.
AEW. But it's one or 1A, 1B. I feel like TNA might be best because they put more women on weekly, even though AEW has gotten better with that.
Mm-hmm.
But they legit let the women cook a lot with TNA. Uh, to be honest, after that, I know the card, but to be honest, I didn't watch other matches just because
Mm.
I was working before this recording.
Yeah.
So when we're done, I'll watch it completely. If I'm back this week, whenever I'll probably, if I'm back again this week, I'll talk about, a quick review. But the card, great for what it is. I'm not gonna overtalk you too much, brother, because I know this is your show. Uh, I will say that Leo Rush going over Alex Shelley because I know the results. Somebody said it best in the comment section on TNA that had me rolling. Of course, it's Impact, but it's TNA. Hey,
Right.
they call it TNA. I'm gonna call it TNA. They said this dude was trolling, but it was hilarious. He said Leo Rush did with the title. He's gonna retire again. I said, yeah.
That's a fact. I'm weak. Nah, first of all, you can never overtalk me. I'm gonna let you go on for as long as you want, as long as you need, bro. But so that's first thing. Second thing is I like you said, Impact is so slept on. Like Impact to me has been one of the most consistent promotions in wrestling. I don't remember the time where there was a weekly TV show that was bad. I don't remember the time where there was a where a pay-per-view that was bad. Even the little sessions that they be doing in between on Impact Plus, they cook. Like they really, really cook. They do solid storytelling. They do solid matches. Everything, in my opinion, feels like it makes sense when it comes to Impact. Um, so I agree with you on that. As far as the women's division is concerned, because obviously a couple of things that kind of came out of this show was that Trinity Fatu, Trinity Star is the new Knockouts champion. So shout outs to her. And she was main
Absolutely.
eventing. And I think she was either main eventing or co-main eventing or something along those lines. But to see Trinity go into a women's division like this and her to be presented and booked the way that she deserves to be, presented and booked. And on top of that, it didn't feel forced. It felt right. It didn't feel rushed. It felt right. And we talk about like this whole thing with diversity, equity, and inclusion in every industry, but particularly in wrestling, right? I feel like with Impact and their division, their women's division, it doesn't feel forced. And they have a whole bunch of characters. And it's because they got a woman of color at the top. You got Gail Kim at the top, who's been, pretty critical of Vince McMahon and just how he sees who should be the face of WWE as far as women are concerned. But like they've been, putting different characters in different places. You have Giselle Shaw, obviously, trans woman who, you know, is a big player over there. You have Jordan Grace, a very big, strong, powerful woman. You have Taylor Wilde. You have Abaddon. You have a bunch of not Abaddon. You have a bunch of women over there that are just kind of doing the damn thing, and they're all standing out and in their own right. And I think that's a testament to you know, to Impact and how good they are. There were some like interesting choices that they did during the show. Jake something came back in that opening Ultimate X match. Um, which was dope, by the way, which is tough.
Yeah.
They had Jake Something come back. Eric Young came back. When him and Scott Demore,
And
when
you
him
know
and
what's funny? He just got let go. I want to say
right,
yesterday. He said, "Oh, bet I'm about to pull up tonight, bro." That had me rolling.
bro,
He
he
was
was
on,
really
like, if
out of there.
anybody doesn't know, he been signed to the East since like 2018 when he was in the
Nah,
group.
he
Was it before
left.
that?
No,
No,
because
but
what
remember
happened?
he signed, then he left, and then he
Yes,
came back.
yes.
But they were just holding him because remember he showed up on Raw a couple times, and it was like, because I remember during 2020, I was like, randomly, because we had time to think because we was indoors. I was like, "Yo, hey, Eric Young on WWE." I swear I kept saying that all year. I don't know if I could find that in the iCloud messages, but I kept saying that. And then yesterday it was like, "Oh, he got released," or this past week he got released. He said, "Big bet," and pulled up.
Literally pulled up with Scott Demore's tag partner, and that match was fun too. And even then, that made sense because he was going up against Bully Ray and
That's
Diener,
unfortunate.
who was like, yeah, Diener, who was like his former protege. So like stuff like that made sense. So overall, Slammiversary was just all around solid. And I feel like, and then on top of that, at the end of the show, obviously you had Alex Shelley and Nick Aldis, who I thought was
Yeah,
a great signing for Impact for the world title. Nick Aldis lost. I'm trying to get this fly away. Nick
you ain't.
Aldis lost. Josh Alexander came back, and
Yeah,
he's been on the sideline, and it's very clear that he's kind of like the face of the company, but
by default.
by default,
And
like
there's no disrespect, he could work, but it's like, okay, they
I
need
mean,
it. Go ahead, and then I'll say what I've said
I
on
think he's
other
a sound
pods.
technical wrestler. The stuff that he does, I feel like is very true to TNA, very true to Impact. Like, and I feel like he's distinct enough to where I don't mind him being the face of the company. But, I also feel like he could be better at a couple other things as far as like his presentation, as far as, you know, his promo skills. I just feel like he's just like a great sound technical wrestler. But onto what you were saying, because I feel like you're gonna say some heat.
They just need people that draw. Like
Mm,
obviously, when they got Naomi, hey, I got this thing. Vince called you this name. I'm gonna call you this name.
mm,
So obviously, they got Naomi on there, and she's by far probably the biggest draw on there right now by default, just because of her name. And they
right.
got people to watch the pay per view just because we knew she was gonna go over. Because
Mm-hmm.
come on, um, so they need draws. Like I've told before on another wrestling podcast. Shouts out to my guy Smart Minds. I've said, and we agreed on it. They got the money over there. It's not like
Mm,
they don't have no money at TNA because people go on there and they don't really go on the indies that much because they make as much as I don't know how much they making, but they got the TV deals. You might not see them, but they got the TV deals.
mm.
The lead singer from the Smashing Pumpkins owns the team. I mean, not owns the team, but owns the promotion. I don't know how much of a
They own
percentage he
Impact.
owns. The lead singer, I forgot his name, Billy
Billy
Corgan or
Corgan.
something
I
like
thought
that.
he owned NWA.
I'm tripping. Who owned? I thought he owned Impact too. Somebody owned
Nah.
Impact that used to. I know Dr. Phil, Steve Harvey, and a couple other people had some stake in it. I don't know if they still do.
I think they have I think they have stake in Access TV, which is
Which
like
is
the channel that owns, because I think Access bought, or I think the group is called Anthem. Anthem bought
yeah.
Impact and uh put them on Access along with New Japan. But yeah, Billy Corgan does NWA. That's a whole different.
What we need to see because again, TNA get passed around more than the blunt. Dude, they don't die. Like we
They
thought
don't.
TNA was gonna die a couple times. They've been global. Now they Impact, and it's just like they don't die. So somebody own them, and obviously
Right.
they have money. If they brought her over there, being Naomi, who
Mm-hmm.
was making six figures in the WWE,
Absolutely.
so they got some money over there. They just need some people that could draw. Not
Right.
saying that Josh Alexander isn't a draw, but you need just people with names. You need some underground people with names. You just need names, and
Mm.
yeah, it'll bring more eyes over here.
I agree with that. And to kind of top off everything with Impact, it's just tough. because like you had a lot of black champions walking out of there last night. You had
Yeah,
Kenny King, um, he's the new digital media champion. He beat Joe Hendry. Trinity obviously won the knockouts title. Leo Rush won the X Division championship. I don't think I'm missing anything in anybody, but you got three black champions in that company, and they all feel like they deserve to be champion. You know what I'm saying? I was waiting for Kenny King to like stop
yeah,
being
he
in people's
won.
factions. Like I'm tired of that. I'm tired of him being like first he was in Los Ingobernables, then he was in Honor No More. I'm like, bro, you're too talented to be like doing being everybody's sidekick. Like, bro, do your own thing. Like you're good enough. Like you got the rep, like you got the talent. So I'm just glad that he's like stepping out on his own and just being his own character. Because Kenny is tough. Kenny is nice.
Yeah,
But
yeah, hell of a work. Also, too, let me say this real quick. Hey, it's more workers in at the WWE that are black that's going over. That's a whole different conversation. Because every time I'm whispering for a reason, so y'all can hear me. 'Cause y'all always do this WWE so black shit, and guess what happens? Vince be in charge. Y'all don't want him to be in charge. Triple H was in charge. Y'all want him to be in charge, but it's the same old shit. But y'all pop when the Street Profits show up with Bobby Lashley. Why is that? And that's y'all whole thing? That's the only thing y'all want? Okay, cool.